What's up, my BBs? Welcome back to my podcast. Today's Here's the Tea podcast is going to be about my exes. I asked you guys what you wanted to hear me talk about, and my exes was very popular in their responses. So here I am talking about my exes. So here's the tea. I did not have a very, I guess, average love life. I mean, I guess that's not past tense either. I do not have a very average love life. I had my first kiss when I was 15. It was outside of a math class. It was to a guy I dated for 3 days. It was a very kick relationship, KIK, the old like chatting device. That's where we had most of our romance, I guess you could say. And he was foreign. I don't know. Like I thought he was attractive. I don't know. He's really not. But he played water polo. He had a nice body. So whatever. And so we broke up. Someone told me he was cheating on me, and 15-year-old me who had never been in a relationship before, that scared the crap out of me. So I bolted. I said, like, in case it wasn't obvious, we're over. Also over kick. Sorry, I like had a burp. I don't know if that sounded weird. So the next guy was like my first real relationship. And basically, I tried recording this earlier and I just went too into detail. So this guy was the first guy to like ask me out in person. We went on dates to Taco Bell. He's the first guy I like made out with because my first kiss was just like the tiniest peck you could ever imagine. This guy was smoking hot, and I still to this day think he is smoking hot, but his personality is shit. He is such an asshole, at least now. Anyway, so he said to me when he asked me out that I just had to understand that God comes first. And that's great. Like, that's fine. I'm not a religion person. Religion actually kind of makes me uncomfortable. I am Jewish, but I don't know. Religion makes me uncomfortable. But I was fine with that. I'm like, all right, like, yes, I totally respect that. I understand. That's cool. So then about 3 weeks later, he, what I think, tried to quote, save me. And he was like, I think you should try and get closer to God, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, when you asked me out, you said I need to understand that God comes first. That's fine. Like, I still understand that. But you didn't say you were going to try and change me. And he's like, oh, don't change for me, change for yourself, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to be like, so you were trying to change me. Like, you're admitting it. But anyway, we broke up, and I would say that was my first real heartbreak. I remember it so clearly when it happened, how I felt. It was awful. It was right before cheer practice, and I remember one of my teammates was like, "Oh, like, how's what's his name?" And I like burst into tears. So that was pretty bad. And then came my first love, and I'm gonna call him John. So John and I started talking maybe a year before we started dating, but he ended up ghosting me after a little while. And then a year later, I don't know how, we started talking again. And then we just got closer and closer. And then he ended up asking me out. It was over Snapchat. I remember I mentioned my Starbucks drink and he knew it exactly right. And I was like, oh, how'd you know? And he's like, because I'm a good boyfriend. And that was like how it was established. So we dated for about 3 months. And he said he loved me first. I didn't say it back. It was on prom night. And I literally just like gave him a hug and then went inside because it was when he took me home. But the first time we broke up, I broke up with him because I was like, my senior year is coming up, or our senior year, we were the same age. Senior year is coming up. I'm going to be going off to college after this, and I know I'm not going to want a boyfriend in college. And so, but then we ended up getting back together because I can literally never be the one to end things with someone because I always just go crawling back. And that's literally what I did. So we got back together. And then I think we might have broken up another time. I think I broke up with him for the exact same reason. And then it was maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month later, we started talking, we got back together. So we got back together and it was right before school was going to start. And then my ex friend, who used to be my best friend, told him about a situation where her and I went out. We met up with this old guy friend of mine, and I had told her that I was considering cheating on him. And I didn't. I literally said, I love him too much. I couldn't do this. And it was just like a passing thought. But she told him about that, and he broke up with me. And that was, I guess, my second real heartbreak. Oh, it was so bad. I really thought I was never going to get over him. But after we broke up, that was kind of when I started my quote hoe phase. And one of my friends kind of like taught me how to get guys. I was still a virgin, like everything, I was still very innocent, but this is when I start like making out with anyone who would give me the time of day. And that's literally what I did. I would start to like count how many guys I had hooked up with since him. I don't know if I already said, I'm just gonna call him John, but I was like, oh, 7 guys, like, and not, and again, nothing more than just like making out, because that just wasn't a big deal to me anymore, I guess. And so it was like that. And then I want to say, so that was around August when we broke up. I want to say in about April, I think he reached out to me kind of apologizing for everything, because in that breakup, it was over text and he did kind of ghost me again about it. And oh my gosh, it was awful. I remember texting him like 5 times being like, I don't know like how I'm going to go through my days without you. I love you so much. But anyway, back to around April. So he was going to take me to my senior prom. Like we started talking again and it was like that. But I ended up just ending things with him again. We never officially got back together, but I ended things because I'm like, you know what? Like I just, I don't know if I said this, but I just didn't feel anything with him anymore. Cause like we met up again to like talk and like we kissed, and I didn't feel the same spark anymore. So I just couldn't go through with it because I just didn't feel anything anymore. And then I went off to college later that year to San Diego State, and I had like another hoe phase, but it was whatever. And then this next person wasn't a relationship, it was a friends with benefits. And that was my first time ever doing that. By this time, I had lost my virginity. I have that story up on my YouTube. I lost my virginity to a guy I met on Tinder, and this guy was my second. Um, he was my best friend. I don't want to get too much into this. He and I still occasionally talk, but not the same anymore. We were best friends, and he, like, I guess I gained a lot of experience from him sexually. But we stopped talking. I, of course, ended up catching feelings, and I just kind of ruined things between us, and we stopped talking. And that was another really bad heartbreak. And around that same time, I had to stop smoking because I got sick. And so I couldn't even use that as a way to get over him. Fast forward, the next guy is the video I have on YouTube, The Worst a Guy's Ever Treated Me. He was the next one. So after him, later that year, I met, I already used John. Let's call him Sam. I met Sam. I I love John. I'm not going to say I didn't, but I truly learned what strong love was with this next guy, with Sam. So he and I were never in an official relationship. And after I tell you everything that happened with us, you're going to be kind of shocked, I guess. So we started talking. We got very, very close. We ended up spending New Year's together at a concert, and he was rolling on Molly. And we just, I don't know, we really bonded that night. I was sober. Actually, I was a little high. So it was a great night though. And then we just again started getting really even more close, and he went to school about an hour away. And for the first maybe like 6 weeks, we we would spend the weekends together, whether I went up there or he came down here. And oh my gosh, it was great. I really felt like I was in a relationship. I posted him on my Instagram. He never posted me. He posted me on his Snapchat once, and it was New Year's, and he said, he posted it and he's like, because you say guys never show you off. And at that point I was like, wow, like this guy is something special. And so we got into the new year, and then he always said like he becomes a different person when he's in a relationship, and that's why he didn't want to be official. And he was like confused. He's like, well, what's like, why do you want the title? Is it like exclusivity, whatever? Because like I'm not talking to anyone else. And it's just, I don't know, I don't want to just be someone's whatever. Like I hadn't been in a relationship since John, which was officially like over a year before that. And so I was just, I don't know, I was like lost. Like I had such strong feelings for him. And then one day, like I was talking to him, and he was, the reason I had such strong feelings for him were because he really understood my borderline, and he really respected it. He Googled it so he could understand me more. And one thing he said that I'll never forget, it was something like, yeah, you have your bad days and those may not be fun, but for every bad day, you have 10 good days, and like your smile lights up the room. And that was the first time I really felt like a significant other understood my emotions and my mental health. But anyway, I my feelings for him grew very, very strong. And then one day we were talking, and I was like, I can't even put into words how much I care about you. And he's like, just say it. And like I knew what he was talking about, and I was like, no, I can't say it first. And so then one day I spent the night, and we woke up, and he looked at me and just sighed and went, I love you. And I said, I love you too. And after that, we said it, I don't want to say all the time, but I loved him so much. And he said to me, I love you so much. But we weren't in a relationship, which is the weird thing for me. Like he took me to date parties at his frat. Like if anyone who knows me knows who I'm talking about right now. But I'm not trying to expose anyone. This is just a story about my exes. But this, I really learned what true love was. And as this is still the worst heartbreak of my life to this day, the one good thing about it is I learned from him how I'm supposed to be treated. I learned that it was possible for someone to love me and treat me right, which I really didn't even believe was possible before this, which is really sad to say, but it's true. I'm still kind of dealing with this. This was literally February. And people say like you're still trying to get over him, and it's like, wow, that's invalidating. But you know what, other people may have gone through breakups in longer relationships than this, in like actual relationships and whatever, and they may have gone through similar situations, but no one knows the exact bond, the exact mindset I had, the exact things were said. No one has the right to say you should be over this or you should feel like this. You should feel the way you are feeling and not be upset about it. Not be upset, but not be ashamed of it. You take as much time as you damn need to grieve over something. Like I'm the healing has gotten better. I've healed, not completely, but it's it's just so hard for me because, like I said, I really did feel true love with him. And he was one of the first guys. I was always afraid in the past of hanging out with guys alone. I'm like, I don't want them to try anything with me or push me into doing something I don't want to do. But with Sam, like, I wanted to spend every second with him. And that's how I knew I was really in love. Fuck. So those are my exes. That's my most recent. Wow. Oh, by the way, John is now married and Sam has a girlfriend now. The last conversation I had with Sam, I will read to you. It was via Twitter. So I saw on his Instagram that he had a new girlfriend, and so I blocked him on everything because I couldn't stand to be able to check his page and see that, but I forgot to block him on my public Twitter. So, and he liked one of my tweets one day, and I was like, I couldn't just let it go. So I said, LOL, hi. And he was like, I thought it was funny because you're drunk and like I am too. And I'm like, funny, did you not notice I blocked you on everything? He said, no, I did. I didn't blame you. I said, good. Like, getting into a relationship after ending things with me because you didn't want a relationship, she must be special. And then I put in quotes, it's just different with her. And he said, 6 months after, LOL. I said, LOL, okay, Sam, you knew how much I loved you. And I'm like, why did you like my tweet? What did you want to come from this? And I don't pause, like, you guys may think I was overreacting to this, but I don't know, this guy meant so much to me. And the fact that he felt like he can just pop in and say something stupid just hurt. And so I said, why did you like my tweet? What did you want to come from this? And he said, LOL, nothing. It wasn't that serious. I said, whatever, enjoy your night, because you ruined mine. And then I said, just never talk to me again, please. And I blocked him there, and that was the last time we talked. And yeah, like I said, I'm still grieving, but it's gotten to the point where if he came back and tried to get me back, I wouldn't so easily just jump right back on him. Like, I'm not saying him and I could never be, but I'm not holding that hope anymore. And it wouldn't, because he has really hurt me. Like, I don't even know if I could say he led me on, because like he did tell me he loved me straight up, but he also told me he didn't want a relationship. So he just gave me such conflicting stuff. Anyway, that's the end of this podcast. That was the tea. Follow me on my Instagram at AllieBBK. Same on Twitter. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.